Hello and welcome back to Hermit's Hideaway with me, Benny Williams. As you can see, this is Scramble. This is a port of the arcade version to the Vectrex, and I'm very lucky to own an original Vectrex, although it does have a couple of issues with it which I need to try and get fixed. It started the game automatically on its own. I thought it was just in a trap mode, but the game's actually started. But just a quick bit of background with this. I've never owned a Vectrex before, but it is a highly sought after, I want to say console, but it's more like a mini arcade machine. And they're very rare and you don't often come across them. One of the reasons for that is because the collectors out there, when they find some in the wild, they sort of just scoop them up and they sort of end up hoarding them, and they end up buying multiple ones. I did try and turn off the light just to check it, but normally if you turn off a light, things like vector graphics look a lot better in the dark and they pop a bit more. But I found in this video with my camera, at the very least, it didn't make much of a difference. But originally, when I was a young lad, I had given to me by my granddad a Tomitronics? Definitely Tomy anyway. It was called Alien Attack, which is the mini LCD arcade. Now, when people normally talk about things like the Tomy arcade machines and that, generally they're talking about, I think it might be Astro Blaster being one, and the other one being Caveman, I think is one of the other ones. And I never really played those, have much experience with them, but I did play Alien Attack an awful lot, and it was absolutely brilliant. I was completely hooked and addicted to it. So what I've got running in here is a Vectrex multi-cart, which comes from the Raven's Nest, which my good friend David Birdsall pointed me to, because it was on sale at the time, and I think it was only £25, which is an absolute bargain. So we're going to crack on and have a go at it anyway. So it's always nice to play something on the original hardware. And hopefully one day I'll be able to get a few issues with my Vectrex ironed out and sorted. Might end up being a sort of recap job eventually, I'm not quite sure. And that's not something I'm going to try and do myself, because I'm not that very well experienced with electronics, but I would like to get it fixed so it's future proofed and I can still play it in the future. And the homebrew community for the Vectrex is absolutely outstanding. There's stuff being made all the time. There's sort of I want to say an on-rail shooter that's recently been released. It's a zombie game, AR something, and it looks absolutely incredible, sort of House of the Dead style, and it looks absolutely brilliant. And you can get some wonderful overlays with it as well, and some front lit, back lit LED overlays and things, just absolutely phenomenal. And then you got Victor Marland that does a lot of control panels and things. So it's just a very exciting time over the last 4 or 5 years for Vectrex owners and Vectrex fans. All the things coming out and the dedication of the homebrew community and people that are so passionate about it, it's incredible. And I really wouldn't mind seeing the Alien Attack version being ported, even if it was done on the Vectrex as like another sort of copy or another game mode of Scramble, because I just absolutely loved it, and it is very, very different. And there's obviously the use of colour and things, so a very nice overlay will go down really well with it too. I nearly went down and crashed then. But yeah, you can kind of call the Vectrex a failed computer, if you like, computer console, arcade, whatever. But because there was only, I think, 40 odd games made for it, might have even been less than that actually. Oh, the plane starts diving down, the ship starts diving down on its own, which I didn't realise it does that after a certain amount of time. So you've got to try and keep it, your joystick pressed up. But yeah, since the homebrew scene, there's just so many more games, and it's pushed in so many more ways, and there's some incredible stuff out there, like Vector Patrol, which is the Moon Patrol arcade conversion, which looks absolutely phenomenal, and I love Moon Patrol. It's such a great game. I've only recently sort of found out what the potential issue with the Vectrex is, and sort of normally it can't sit upright like it is because there's a problem with the board. The case wasn't connected for a while because I didn't have the screws, so I think I've got to make some adjustments to the legs on the bottom of one of the boards and try and prop it up a little bit more so the board sits a bit squarer, or however it's going to make it function. But I don't want to do too much to it that's going to ruin it or harm it. But yeah, on the original Alien Attack, I mean, that was really difficult. On the original Alien Attack, there wasn't really much. It was only lasted about 15-20 minutes, the whole game, and I wouldn't. Well, I'd say I could loop it, but I didn't realise at the time that it was looping. I thought the game just ended and it automatically restarted, but of course it was looping it again. But I'm not going to waffle on too much longer, and I'm not going to play too much more now because you kind of see them having to start from the beginning again. But this is just a quick look at obviously the Vectrex in action and seeing Scramble, the arcade conversion, which is just absolutely wonderful, and just those vector graphics when you can see actually in person, and you're playing especially the Mindstorm game, which is the Asteroids clone. The shrieks that it leaves in the monitor is it's incredible. It's just visually it's stunning to look at, and it's not something you can capture on the emulation very well, which makes sort of emulating a Vectrex just not as great or not as fun. But anyway, as I said, I'll stop waffling now, and that was Scramble, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye bye.